Namaste. Taking some time for people to show up, showing up for themselves, and showing up for others. As we slowly come together, good morning, Judith. As we slowly come together, we make the collective experience. We create that. A fairly easy gesture these days of simply pressing the button to light up your screen. Good morning, Patrick, and a happy, happy, happy belated birthday. As happy as it can be, right? Good morning, Tom. So, as we all slowly gather, good morning, Liz. We are showing up for ourselves, but make no mistake, we are showing up for each other. We are showing up for each other. And as simple as it is right now, from the probably convenience of your home and just choosing to hit the feed, and just simply turning your screen on, those simple gestures from the convenience of your home matter greatly, especially these days. That we are showing up not only for ourselves, but for each other. Good morning, Hilda. Nice to see you. Love. We'll get started in just about half a minute. Anyone showing up for the first time, welcome to Shakti. I'm very happy to open up my home to you. And the one beautiful thing about this experience of isolation, thank you all for the hearts, the one of the many great experiences during this isolation is this home gets to be opened up to many, right? Many beyond the walls of the building, right? Many beyond the boundaries, right? Us as humans creating the great collective conscious. So thank you once again for showing up for yourself, but showing up for each other. So let us tune in. Breathe in. Please, let's all take a moment a moment of great sacred pause, a moment of deep introspection. A moment to send out healing love as a blanket that we might all crawl under and just seek a few moments of refuge, of comfort, of peace together. Beyond clearly the walls of these buildings, beyond clearly the walls of your homes, out into the neighborhood, out into the city, out into the state, beyond, 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 beyond. Send it out. Namaste. How about those Yankees, huh? You know, when we sit in states of discomfort, of great confusion, of great dismay, we seek out those commonalities, you know. Stick to the safe topics, right? Could talk about the weather. Pretty chilly. It's important to laugh, right? It's important to remind yourself that you have spirit and to keep a lightness, right? To keep a lightness, even though things are heavy, even though things are serious, even though things are grave and intense. To remind yourself that you are in and of spirit. This session reminds me of the very first one I had when, you know, at the end of these riffs, and after we sit together and do a few moments of breathing, once I click off the screen, there's like kind of a little title that comes through that I then entitle for the YouTube page so that others can see it that aren't on social media. I never really know what I'm going to talk about, but by the end there's pretty much a nice sum up and I give it a little title. And the very first one was, "This is strange," you know. These are strange times. Loaded times. We all know it, right? We're all feeling it in our own way, right? You know, so what can I offer, right? And that's kind of the question that I ask myself day in and day out. And as I show up for myself and do my sadhana, my practice, meditation, breath work, physical practice, chanting, etc. I do that every day before I come to you. There's often a moment of clarity where it's like, okay, this is what I can offer today as a human being, very authentically. And you know, today there's a lot of confusion on how to share and what to share, and you know, it always comes down to holding space, right? Through this virtual experience, that we are holding space for each other to feel whatever it is we feel, to give ourselves that permission to feel what you feel. And that greeting at the beginning that I typically do here, that I do every time we have class and session, namaste, right? We've all heard it, right? Even if we don't practice the physical form of asana, we've all by now heard that word namaste. And it's a beautiful, even though it's borrowed, it's taken from India, it's pretty universal now, similar to the word shalom, a greeting, hi, or bye, I wish you well, I offer you peace. There's so much. It's a very loaded word, namaste, the greeting of it. And the one that sits and resides inside the belly of myself and kind of resonates deep inside the core of my being, and why I choose to say it as often as I can is, I honor your heart. I honor who you are. And during, difficult times of great dismay and confusion, round two, right? We're only about 2 months into the first crisis, right? Within these great states of confusion, within these great states of sides, right? It's really important, or at least what I would like to pass on to everyone today is, it's important that underneath the surface, right? Everyone has a heart. And the heart starts at home, right? Or you could even say the home of your heart. That namaste that blankets everything, that neutralizes everything, that in some ways creates a bit of equanimity, right? It's such a lovely word, equanimity, right? An equaling out. An equaling out that goes beyond or under or through, depending on how you want to look at it, surface, right? Deep inside the core. We all share heart. And when we came into this world, the heart knew not, sides. I don't even think the heart knew preference, right? So I believe this is a time for us to, really, really go to the heart. The heart doesn't have to be sentiment, right? The heart doesn't have to just be that kind of vulnerable place within us that creates tears and that's it. Like, the heart is so incredibly strong, right? The heart is so incredibly constant in its beat. The heart is a magnificent organ that keeps you alive, You can live brain dead, but you can't live heart dead. So we want to make sure that we're checking in with it, I think it's pretty safe to say that there's always going to be lines dividing. You think about some real basic lines that we've been living with probably since day one, I don't know, like a border line, right? That line that creates the divide between two countries. I remember when I went, it was in university at Niagara, we were very close to the border. Actually, we still do, and same now here for where I am now. Like, you used to walk across the border, certainly not now. And, years ago you could do it without a passport, right? And it was just this easy stride. Just this little, sauntering walk that didn't mean that much. But I remember each and every time I'd walk across the border, I'd stop at that point where the two flags were and the line was. And I would often, like almost ritualistically, just stand on the line that divided. And this kind of moment of merge occurred. I wasn't really aware of it, but now in great reflection, I can see that that's what that ritual was for me. That there was a merge right on that line. And within that line, there was a sense of neutrality, a sense of leveling off, a sense of like, I'm right in the middle of these two sides, if you will, right? And it's so easy to just keep being loaded, and I'm trying to pull myself back a little bit. So excuse my strays as I struggle, like every other human, to seek out moments of clarity, right? I think that's one of the best things that I can do, is just remind us that we're all probably struggling right now, and that it makes sense to be struggling right now. And as we kind of attempt to go to the home of the heart, that's the neutral playing ground. Right? It's the mind and the opinions and the preferences and the history that have created the other stuff, right? And that stuff is there. But in order for us to learn to live with these lines and these sides and these preferences and these opinions, we must remind ourselves that there is a neutral merge, a leveling off. Right? I honor who you are underneath the surface of your skin, of your opinions. I honor that you are a human being. I honor that you are a human fucking being. Breathe in. Out the mouth. Again. One more. If you choose to, please consider closing your eyes with me, with us, right? The collective community of humans, right? We've all chosen to sit, regardless of side or opinion, history, border. We've all chosen to come together right now. So if you feel comfortable, close your eyes in such a way that you're not leaving us out, that you're not creating a line of divide between us and you, but that you're almost asking our permission. Can I sit quietly in such a way that I might close my eyes so that as I stay connected to you, I can find myself? That I can trust, right? That I can unguard. And even though you might more than likely be alone, this kind of poetic license, right? This kind of creative interpretation that we are really sitting together, right? And that we can close our eyes amongst each other, that we can trust. And just see what you can soften. Try softening your face. It might help a lot. Try softening at the heart. It might hurt a lot. See if you can soften your mind a little bit and just bring a sense of neutrality just for like a few minutes, right? That doesn't mean you are brain dead or without your attachments or thoughts or what you adhere to or what you believe in. You don't have to lose your activism, right? To have a neutral mind for just like a few moments. See if you can soften across the brow and through the temple and scalp area. And then see if you might drop into your seat. And it's a little challenging to drop into your seat when there's so much upheaval, right? When things are so strange and out of whack, but we're doing it together. And we're just gonna do the best we can today. And just see if you might release the hold of your hips just a little bit. Unclench the thighs just a tiny bit. And just for a moment, see if you can notice that the ground is pretty darn steady, even though it feels tumultuous. That the tumultuousness is like on the layer of the surface and we're trying to drop into the deeper root of the ground. If you can sense any security underneath you, just take a moment to honor that that is a blessing. And if it's not there for you just yet, full on compassion, right? Nothing has to happen now, immediately, right? And with your legs heavy, just begin to lift through your waist. Make a little breathing room in the midsection. Open up across the chest if you can. And if you can't today, just don't, right? Nothing you have to do. If it feels suitable, comfortable, available, maybe your palms go up, this gesture of opening to you. I can't see you, I can feel you. I'm going to trust that I'm in a safe enough space with you, with community of human beings, with grand collective of humans. This gesture of my palms going up and knuckles resting down is a sign of my willingness to open to you. You as a human. You as a human with a heart. And then just check into your breath. And whatever it is, rumbly, rapid, whatever's happening, just let it be there for a second. Just check in with it. And just recognize, right? Just recognize. It's the beautiful verb word in the greeting namaste. I recognize you. And it's like when you see someone on the street that you know you have encountered before. I recognize you as a human being. As I find my breath, you have breath. As I find my heart, you have heart, right? Things are very different in our minds, maybe, but in our hearts, they beat, right? They keep us going as humans. I recognize through my breath humanity. Underneath all the nonsense, all the divide, all the lines. Let's just sit in that space for a few moments. Go to the breath. As you breathe, I breathe. As I breathe, we breathe. Recognize, recognize, right? To see it in a new way, to think it and feel it in a new way. Allowing this breath to unite us for 3 seconds more, right? We can do that. And then please go easy on yourself if you're going to participate in our daily lung strengthening exercise. We've been doing this day in and day out for the efficiency of the lungs to keep them strong through this viral crisis. And today, focus primarily on slow breathing so that it has an effect on the nervous system. So the nervous system can embrace this new crisis of line divide, right? Although it's not new, right? Nice slow breathing. Let's take 3 cleansing breaths again together, in through the nose. Again. One more. Close the lips lightly. Empty the breath from the underbelly. Breathe in. Retain. Breathe out. Retain. 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 Release the lock of the underbelly, letting the breath go, letting the breath flow. Feel free to move the body. As you notice your breath, I don't know where I lost you if I did. And take a moment as you locate your breath. The breath that is pumped by the grand mechanics of the heart that we all have. We might consider the breath and the heart the home base. We might consider the breath and the heart a neutral home base. And as we recognize it within us, recognize it within each other. Right? I recognize you. I recognize you as a human. Open your eyes, move your arms out and up, inhale. Out and down, exhale. Out and up, inhale. Out and down, exhale. Again, inhale. Exhale. A couple more times, so just all of us moving and breathing together. All of us doing the same thing for like half a minute. Right? The neutrality, the recognition of us as humans coming together. Beyond the surface. And maybe even just standing at that beautiful line of divide, as neutral and as open as you possibly can. You know, you can only do what you can do, guys, right? Inhale out. Exhale, drop your hands into your heart. So this gesture of gratitude, this gesture of coming together. And you know, for today, maybe we think of it as us coming together as humans, right? It's like half of you and half of everyone else, right? Coming together just for a moment, right? We can do that. We can merge. Breathe in. Namaste. I recognize you. You know, when I got a little heated and started to stray away, I think I found my way back right now, so I just want to tag on a moment because I didn't want to confuse anybody when I got a little impassioned. The lines that will probably always be there, right? Like in the case of a boundary, right? A border, right? Like say the US and Canada, for example, right? The line creates the separation, but it also creates the unity, because right at the line you're at the merge, right? That's the neutral point between those two places, right? So if that offers, you know, any inspiration, I hope so. I put up a little a photo of water and sky from Chautauqua, and you know, I wrote the word peace right at the horizon line, right? Like yet another line, right? That the line that separates the water from the sky, but it's also the point where the water and the sky meet, right? And that's where the peace is, where we meet, right? Where we meet at the heart, where we recognize each other at the heart. Thank you for sharing space. Thank you for being part of this collective. If you're tuning in for the first time, I'm here every day, Monday through Saturday. I'm extremely grateful to be able to continue to hold space for us, and I'm extremely grateful for these contributions that have been coming in. It is literally putting food on my table and keeping this space operating while we are in this holding pattern. We're heading over to do the physical practice now. If anybody cares to share, Christina is probably placing all the necessary info. You certainly don't have to be a Shakti student or even know yoga to join us. Have the best day you can have. Thank you for the hearts. Say hi to each other, you know. This is a nice place to meet, right? Nice place to relate, right? People that are showing up you can relate to, and you can give them permission, right? To just have their feelings, have their thoughts, right? And know that underneath the surface that we're all connected at the heart. Seal it up, send it out. These words take on new meaning pretty much every time we say them, right? May you be safe. May you be healthy. And may you be happy. May you live with an easy heart.